I fix my little plant back there. My little greenie tipping all over there. Make sure my volume is up. Volume is up. Let's see who is up. Who is up late? Hey, Sagittarius. I get my tea in before I go to sleep tonight. Been running around all day. But I also been looking up properties. I'm doing well. How are you? Instagram, I'm on my YouTube channel. Y'all know I'm not going to be on here long. I'm just letting you know that I'm live on my YouTube channel. Blessed, okay? I like that answer. I like that answer. You woke up this morning. You alive, right? You got another day to do what it do. So I had put a question on here, and I was basically asking, what have you all learned about the system, right? Especially with the government shut down these last, what's it on, day 25 now? They on day 25? So I wanted to put that question out there to ask the people. Excuse me. I'm drinking this herbal tea, y'all. Excuse me. Jay Frazier, you say you learned that the Dems are stupid. Ah. I'm going to block you on here. Don't come over here tonight, bots starting up, acting up, okay? We in a great mood tonight. So, besides that, Jay Frazier, besides that, what else have you learned about the government? What are you, let me say this. Do you have an action plan? That's what I'm going to ask now, right? Besides the people that's coming in, what have you learned about the government with this whole government shutdown? But outside of that question, for those who haven't answered it, what is your game plan? Like, what do you plan on doing? Because I see a whole lot of people complaining, right? But I don't see a lot of people with solutions. And so tonight I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I wanted to talk about some solutions, right? What are you planning to do? Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm so glad I put that filter on my post. It stops a lot of mess out here. Good question. Okay, Sag. And again, I'm somebody who's always thinking about solutions. I'm not a complaining driven person. I don't get on the internet and do a bunch of complaining. I might get on here and say my piece of how I feel, and people think, whatever they think. But I'm also very much solution based, and I don't depend on the government. I don't depend on the system, and I want a lot more people to learn to be free from the system, because a lot of you are in this system and stuck in this system. And so tonight I wanted to ask that, what have you learned with the government shutdown? And then the next question would be, what is your game plan? What do you plan on doing? Because it's got to be something else. It's got to be something else besides everybody just mad. Happy Sunday. Hey, family. Hey, Miss Kriegler. You say, I ain't from America. Okay, Jay Frazier. I ain't from America, but everything I see, it looks like them just throwing the toys out the pram because they have no power. Okay, well, Jay Frazier, yo, I'm not gonna say your comment don't necessarily mean anything. I don't wanna say it like that, right? But if you don't live in America, you're not from here, you wouldn't know, right? You just looking on that, you on the outside, you in a window looking on the outside, right? So you gonna think differently, right? But for the people that do live in the United States of America, I would like y'all to answer that question, or even think about it, right? Think about what I'm asking you, and then what is your actionable game plan for it? Like the other week, like last week, I got on here and I was talking to y'all about the importance of ownership, right? And when I say ownership, I mean real estate. The importance of buying some land. We don't do non-speaking English over here, so if you can't speak English, then your comments will not be on here. All right, this is an English channel. We speak English over here, not other languages. So if you can't speak English, then you won't be commenting. Um, but I had shared that with you all last week, the importance of having land, the importance of buying property, the importance of, being able to be stable and on your own without having to depend on the government or your 9 to 5. And a lot of things that America has, a lot of Americans do not take advantage of it. I'm going to say something like the stock market, like crypto, like the S&P 500, like compound interest bearing accounts, right? These are things that are in place that can flip your money, can increase your money, can increase your wealth, can increase your assets. But a lot of people do not put into those things, right? So we also have to have a conversation about that. You have to be honest with yourself, and how are you spending? How are you using your money? How are you investing your money, if you are investing it at all, right? All right, Chief. Well, there you go. Then don't quit. Then don't play. Then be about it. Talk English over here. We don't do that. I see a lot of people panicking about the food stamp situation, but I don't depend on the government either. My plan is to become more independent. Okay, Sag, would you like to share how you plan on becoming more independent? I think more people need to look into starting businesses and entrepreneurship. As much as everybody likes to say entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and it's not. It's not. But I think a lot of people have a limited mindset when we say entrepreneurship, what that could look like. A lot of people think, oh, you gotta, I gotta have a store and selling products and all of this other stuff. And that is not what entrepreneurship is, wholeheartedly. So I just think we need to start having more conversations around asset and wealth building and independence building, being able to do that. Uh, oh, thank you, Indonesia. Appreciate that. Ultimately, your destiny is really on you. Politics is nothing more than games that folks play who claim they represent Americans. Facts, Jules. Facts, Miss Kriegler. And I think with this government shutdown, hopefully, I don't know what people are thinking. That's why I'm on here asking the question, because I don't know what people are thinking. But I hope that this opens up the eyes to more Americans to be able to understand and see how your government plays games. And let's be clear, both sides play games. Both sides have spent billions of dollars. Everybody want to talk about how much money is going to, Israel, Ukraine, this company, that company. Biden sent billions of dollars. Obama sent billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, every president, and it's not even necessarily the president, because let's talk about the legislative branch, right? Which is Congress and Senate. Congress and Senate are the ones who run this country. Let's be clear. All right. Your president just signs off on it if he wants to agree with what they voted for. But Senate and Congress are the two branches that make the decisions and pass these bills and this money. All right. So let's not act like, oh, what they doing now, what Trump is doing under his presidency is something new. Biden spent so much money and sent so much billions of dollars overseas. Like, come on. Like that's my issue with some American people is they have selective outrage, right? Is now that it's Trump in office, oh, you sending all this money to Ukraine and Israel. Didn't Biden just send hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel these last 8 years? Didn't you see all these Palestinian people marching downtown, shutting down damn expressways for the last 4 years in Chicago? 5 years, 6 years in Chicago? We got into it with them a couple of times because we like, what y'all want us to do? You shutting down expressways. You shutting down the exit to Rush Hospital. They almost got ran over one day fucking with me because I was trying to get to my aunt who was at Rush Hospital and they shut down the damn expressway with the exit going to Rush Hospital. Like, I'm all for people doing their protests and stuff, but when y'all start messing with everyday people that's trying to get to hospitals, trying to get to their jobs, now y'all overstepping. Those are not peaceful protests. Those are not peaceful protests, right? But let's not act like we ain't seeing these people all up and down Chicago doing that. And this was way before Trump got in office. So miss me with the selective ass outrage, right? And that's the problem. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Why we're here in this state that we're in as American citizens, because it's a lot of selective outrage. All right, I got to scroll up because I see more people was coming in. That game gives them full access to great wealth. As long as they're willing to play the game, my game plan is learning how I can operate within it to get to my goal of a better life. And that's the reason why you joined the trust course, Ms. Kriegler. That's exactly why you joined the trust course. Mars says, What I've learned about the system is that they don't care. Yes, I'm glad that you got to see that, Mars. I am glad that you got to see that. Exactly. Obama did it too. Obama did it too. In the context of I just was reading the last couple of comments. We got somebody on here commenting in the context of the Old Testament and the New Testament and all that other stuff. So, one of the things that I want to share with you all on here tonight is I want you to start looking up land. There are several websites that sell and offer land. Every single state, every single county. If you have not heard of a term called tax liens or tax deed, I would also recommend that you look up both of those terms. When I say tax lien, L-I-E-N. Okay? L-I-E-N. Tax deed is D-E-E-D. Every single state has either tax lien or tax deed. All right? These are very low-cost ways that you can acquire land, property, and when I say property, commercial property or residential property. A lot of these are sales from people who either have not been able to pay their taxes the last couple of years, or that's really it. It's taxes, right? Because you live in the United States of America, they tax you on everything. So even when you buy property and you own it, you still pay taxes on it. And so unfortunately, some people lose their property because they did not pay the taxes on it. And so me personally, when I look these up, I try to look for properties that are empty because I don't want to put somebody grandma out their house, right? And a lot of these listings, a lot of these counties, you can find property, especially land. The land, no one lives there, right? So that way you know for a fact you're not putting somebody out because it's the land, right? But when you're dealing with residential properties, me personally, I'm not trying to put nobody grandma out. Now, do some people don't care and they gonna buy the property, and if somebody grandma got to be put out, hey, yes, it is people that do that. I do have a conscience, and so I look for properties that are either owned by corporations, or I also say, I have said this before, I look for properties for people that don't look like me, right? If they have maybe a foreign last name, because we do have a lot of foreigners that come here and buy land and property, and a lot of them are not even living here. They're not even living in the state or the city that they have the land and property in. So sometimes those go into tax deficits, right? And so that's an opportunity for you as an American citizen to buy. I'm in Chicago. Our county is Cook County. Cook County tax lien is coming up March of 2026. So I am preparing my community. I have been telling my community that these are things that they need to be looking into, right? Let me delete him. I'm not on that tonight. So these are some of the things that I'm sharing with my community so that way they can own something. As I've shared before, if anything happens like what we're seeing right now, right? People are furloughed, people have are not working, people are working for the federal government like TSA workers. They're saying that they're working at the airports and they're not being paid right now. So if this ever happens to you and you know that you live in a property, you live in a house, right? Either you're renting a home or an apartment, or you are buying a home or an apartment and you have a mortgage, right? Usually one or the other. Maybe you have an apartment with roommates, right? But regardless, in America, we like to have a roof over our head, right? Your office that you go to work at is a facility. It's a commercial space, right? It's a building, a skyscraper, a single family, not a single family home, but maybe it's a 1-level building, a 3-unit building. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing in this country, down every block, what do you see? Every single place you go in this country, down every single block, what do you see? It's enough of y'all on here to answer that. Damn, my tea got cold. There you go, Miss Kriegel. I knew you was going to step it up and say something. Exactly. So if every single place that you go in the USA, every block that you drive down has a building, a house, or land, maybe a vacant lot, more people have to think like that. You have to think, how can I acquire that? How can I acquire that? Because like I said, God forbid you lose your job. And if you are able to go and buy a lot, you can buy lots in the city of Chicago. In some areas, we have this Shy Block Builder. We have this thing called Shy Block Builder. We can buy land for as low as $1. We could buy land for as low as $1. So I've been looking all through this book. We got side yards. We have urban agriculture. We can have lots for as low as $1. Okay? Affordable housing applications. Says it right here. Lots are sold for $1 each. $1 each. This particular program is in Chicago. You would have to look up wherever you live to see if they have something like that. But this is called Shy Block Builder. This is a program that is in the city of Chicago. A lot of cities and counties have their own different programs. It may be called something else, but that's why I'm on here talking about it, because this is something for you all to do your own research on, right? And if it's not this, then what I literally just told you, tax liens or tax deeds. Every single county, every single state offers tax liens or tax deeds. So that's another option if you don't find something like Shy Block Builder, Land Guide. Okay. But I tell people all the time, when you own the land, you got control of something. God forbid something happens, you lose your job. Now maybe you can't afford your rent. Maybe you can't afford your mortgage payment. But if you own a piece of land, guess what? You can go pull up on your lot. You can go park in your car. You can go get you an RV. You could build you a tent. You can build you a tiny home. Whatever it's zoned for. Right? Because there are different zones on certain land lots. So you also want to look into that before you buy the land. You want to look at what it's zoned for. Are you able to build a house on that? Are you able to build a multi-unit on that? Are you able to put a garden? Some people have gardens on their lots, right? So it's some research that has to be done, but it's doable. And this is something that is not talked about a lot in the United States of America, right? Everybody just wants to talk about buying a home ownership, and buying a home for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Home prices are ridiculous today. Everybody don't want to pay $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a house, and a lot of these houses ain't made worth crap. I'd rather have me an old Greystone that was built in the 40s and the 50s, baby. That sucker ain't going nowhere. A lot of these new builds ain't made of nothing but some plywood and some paint and fake brick. It's not even the real old school red brick that you get. It's that new thin little square block brick. That's not real brick. Yeah. Another gem, Miss Kriegel. I see you put on here all the faces, the face. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm always dropping gems on this mog for y'all. Always having $1,000,000 conversations on here. Because it's a lot going on. And a lot of people are stuck in the complaining era. And like I said, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Decide. It's all right that you know that everything that's going on, but what you gonna do about it? How you gonna make sure that you and your family good? How you gonna make sure that you survive? How you gonna make sure that you able to put food on the table, right? Blind Focus say, I don't want any house built after 1960. New builds are almost garbage generally for what they cost. And only properties, like I know a few developers here, and only properties that I would buy would possibly be from one of the developers that I know here, because I know him. He's a really good man, wholesome man, family man, and does good by people and uses quality materials to build his units. But a lot of other people are not. Okay, I could say that. So, but I feel you, Blind Focus. Um, I'm doing a new build, but again, I'm working with this developer who I know is actually, using good material, and where they're getting their material from. The program is only in Chicago, but if you have a business in Chicago, you could purchase. Yeah. Yeah, Shy Block Builders. That's why it's called Shy Block Builder. I mean, it is strictly for Chicago. But that's the reason why I gave y'all the tax lien. I keep on not hitting this. Let me move this back a little bit. That's why I gave y'all the tax lien and the tax deed for you to look up, because every single county does offer that. So some states, like I said, are a tax lien state. Some states are a tax deed state. You just got to figure out where you are, where your county is. And if you type in tax lien and then your county, it will bring you up to the website where you can look that up in your specific county. If you type in tax deed in your county, it will bring up the website. So you will have to see which one your county offers. Some counties offer both. Most usually do one or the other, but some do both. And like I said, what is the tax lien sale? Tax deed sale is basically people who have not paid their property within a certain time frame. Now in Cook County, they sell your taxes. They auction off your taxes, which is your house or your property. I'll say your property. They auction your property off after 2 years of you not paying taxes. So this upcoming year, when they do the tax lien sale in March of 2026, it will more than likely be tax delinquent taxes from 2023, because we were actually supposed to have a sale this year in August, and then they were going to push it at the end of the year, and then instead of pushing it at the end of the year, they decided to do it all the way into next year. So we were actually supposed to have a tax lien sale this August of 2025, so we did not, and that would have been for 2023 taxes. And so that's how that works. And we have two different sales. We have a scavenger sale and we have an annual tax sale. They changed the laws to where they don't have to do the scavenger sale, which is something that I'm probably gonna really draw up a petition for us to start petitioning that and requiring that they have an actual scavenger sale, because that's something that benefits us, the community. If we were able to buy on a scavenger sale, we don't have to pay the back taxes. When we do an annual tax sale, we have to pay the back taxes. And so back taxes go all the way 20 years back. So you may find a property that's got 5 years worth of back taxes. You may find a property that's got 10 years worth of back taxes, right? And it's a process, but it could be worth it depending on how much the taxes are. Some people tax bill is $300, $400, $500, $1,000 for the whole year, right? Now, in a lot of those suburbs, some of their taxes is $10,000, $15,000 for the whole year. So it just depends on the area, and that's why you want to look it up by county, because every county has their list, right? Every county has their list. They have their different, rules of how and what they do. So, and every county has different redemption periods. Like in Cook County, for residential, we have to hold the property for 30 months. So they give people 30 months to come back and buy their taxes back. The good thing is normally it's going to have interest attached to it. So if you buy somebody's taxes, delinquent taxes, and let's say they pay it in 6 months, they have to pay you the taxes that you paid for it, plus they have to pay the interest, plus they have to pay all of your court costs and fees that you paid. So you get every single dollar back. Every single dollar you spent, you get it back. So a lot of people buy them just to make the interest on them, because in some states, the interest is 10%, 12%, 15%, 18%. In Cook County, ours goes up. It starts at 10 or 12, then it goes up to 15 in 6 months. Then in a year, it goes up to 18. In a year and a half, it goes up to another one. So ours is in increments. Some counties, they giving you 15% out the gate. I want to say like Texas, one of those states down south, like Texas or Alabama, their interest rate is like 20%. So for people who are thinking, right, and thinking outside the box a little bit, this could be a great opportunity for you to acquire land and or property at a very lower amount, right? And then now you have something that you could say that you own. And then if you start using the tax code, how I also show you and talk to you about, right? Because who told y'all had to bury y'all family members in a cemetery? Most people bury their family members in the cemetery, but if you have land, you can do just like Trump did and put his ex-wife in the golf course, right? She's not literally in the golf course, but she's on the golf course in a cemetery area that they, plotted out. And now he won't pay taxes on that property. He won't pay taxes on that golf course at all because it's a cemetery there. So you, being an American tax-paying citizen, you have those same laws that you can utilize, which is the tax code. You can use those same tax code, the same tax code that the wealthy do. You can do the same thing. Okay? So I just wanted to give you all a little insight tonight. It's been 30 minutes on here. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm already tired and I got to get up in the morning. But I want you all to be thinking, right? I don't want you to always just be complainers, right? Everybody complains. That's why the average American citizen is going through what they going through, right? It's because if you thinking average, you thinking like everybody else, you just mad and not doing nothing, nothing changes. America won't change if Americans don't step up and speak up and say nothing. Or if Americans don't start doing things differently. All right? So you got to think differently. You got to think, how can I survive? How can I take care of me and my family? All right? And land is one of the cheapest, easiest ways to get something. You can build on the land. You can always build on the land later. Just acquire it. Get it. I've seen land in some counties for $200-$300. Pennsylvania, they got tax lien sales all the time with land. That's like $300. Definitely pray for Jamaica. Yep. I don't know, they going through that hurricane weather down there. Right? So, do y'all got any questions before we get off of here tonight? This was a short impromptu live tonight. I just really wanted to come give you something to think about. I know a lot of people are upset, and as the gentleman said earlier, you're welcome. I hope y'all do something with it. I've been giving this type of information on the internet for a long time, and most people don't do nothing with it. So hopefully you all will be different and actually do something with the information. Actually research it. And then not actually research it. Actually go buy you something. Actually go buy you something. And hopefully in a couple of months you'll be back on here saying, Miss Patrice, guess what I did? And I'm going to be proud of you. Because now you are a doer and not a complainer. We got too many complainers. We don't got enough doers. It ain't hard. It's just you not taught. The American school system don't teach you this type of stuff. You'll never learn this. Unless you have somebody like me on this internet who's going to talk to you about it. I'll go live again tomorrow, but earlier. I had a lot going on today. So I'm on here after midnight. But tomorrow I'll go live, but probably earlier in the day. Maybe like around 6 or 7 o'clock at night. All right, Miss Kriegler. I know you want it. Like I say, you done showed you took action before. Oh, it retracted your message. I thought it hid your message. All right, y'all. Good night. I'm not seeing any questions on here, so I think everybody got the brunt of what I was saying. I got to go heat my tea up. I can't drink my tea cold. All right, y'all. Good night.